Lieutenant Commander Marcus Chen had seen enough plasma burns and neural disruptor wounds to recognize them instantly. But the gash across Colonel Hendrick's chest was something else entirely: clean, precise, and utterly analog in a world where warfare had gone digital centuries ago. The autopsy bay's sterile white walls hummed with the low frequency of the medical scanner as Dr. Yates pulled up the holographic reconstruction. The wound appeared suspended in midair, rotating slowly like some macabre exhibit. Single penetration, approximately 7 inches deep, Dr. Yates noted, her voice clinical. The edges are too clean for any energy weapon I know of. Almost like. She paused, frowning at the display. Like what? Chen asked, though something cold was already settling in his stomach. Like it was made by an actual blade. Sharp metal. But that's impossible, no one's used kinetic weapons for combat in 300 years. Chen stared at the wound pattern, its dimensions burning into his memory. 7 inches long, tapering to a point, with microscopic serrations along one edge. The image triggered something, a recent conversation that had seemed insignificant at the time. 3 days earlier, he'd been in the officer's lounge when Ensign Kara Volkov had been cleaning something at a corner table. The metallic gleam had caught his eye, and he'd wandered over out of curiosity. In her hands was an archaic knife, polished steel with intricate engravings along the blade. Family heirloom, she'd explained when she noticed his stare. Pre-colonial Earth. My great-great-grandmother carried it through the resource wars. Chen had laughed. A primitive relic. Why carry deadweight when you've got a plasma sidearm? Kara's dark eyes had flashed with something he couldn't quite identify. Sometimes the old ways work better than the new ones, sir. Plasma signatures show up on every scanner in 3 sectors. But steel? She tested the edge against her thumb, drawing a thin line of blood. Steel is invisible. Now, staring at Colonel Hendrick's autopsy results, Chen felt his throat go dry. The dimensions matched perfectly. Doctor, he said carefully, can you overlay the wound measurements with standard Earth-era blade specifications? Dr. Yates gave him an odd look but complied. Her fingers danced over the holographic interface, pulling up archived weapon databases from humanity's pre-space era. The search parameters narrowed: blade length, width, edge pattern. A match appeared almost instantly. Military combat knife, circa 2156. Used by Earth's colonial marines during the Outer Planet campaigns. How did you know to look for this? Dr. Yates asked. Chen didn't answer. His mind was racing through the implications. Hendricks had been investigating supply route corruption, following leads that suggested someone in the command structure was selling military coordinates to hegemony raiders. He'd been close to identifying the leak when his shuttle had made an unscheduled stop at mining station Kepler 7. The same station where Ensign Volkov had been stationed for the past 6 months. Chen accessed the duty rosters on his wrist display. Volkov had been off duty the night Hendricks arrived. The security log showed her clearance badge accessing the docking bay at 0347 hours, 20 minutes before Hendricks was found dead in his quarters. Sir? Dr. Yates was staring at him. Is everything all right? I need to review the security footage from Kepler 7, Chen said, already heading for the door. And I need a detail to locate Ensign Volkov. Now. The security footage told a story that made Chen's blood run cold. There was Volkov, moving through the station's corridors with the fluid grace of someone who knew exactly where the blind spots were. Her family heirloom was nowhere to be seen, but Chen noticed she kept her right hand pressed close to her thigh, the perfect position to conceal a blade. The timestamp showed her entering Hendrick's guest quarters at 0351. She emerged 17 minutes later, her posture unchanged, her expression calm. To anyone watching, she was just another officer making routine rounds. But Chen knew better now. He pulled up her service record, looking for patterns he'd missed before. Born on New Petersburg, a colony with known hegemony sympathizers. Father listed as deceased, mother's whereabouts unknown. Multiple commendations for innovative problem-solving in situations where standard protocols had failed. The picture that emerged was of someone who'd spent her entire career being underestimated, a quiet, efficient officer who carried a piece of ancient history and used it to deadly effect in a world that had forgotten such weapons existed. Chen's comm unit chimed. "Sir, we've located Ensign Volkov," came the voice of Sergeant Torres. "She's in Shuttle Bay 3, preparing for departure on the morning transport to Titan Station." "Detain her," Chen ordered. "Full security detail, and Torres, be careful. She's more dangerous than she looks." When Chen arrived at the shuttle bay, Volkov was seated calmly in the waiting area, her hands folded in her lap. She looked up as he approached, and for the first time since he'd known her, she smiled. "I wondered when you'd figure it out," she said. "You're sharper than Hendricks was. He never even saw it coming." "Why?" Chen asked, signaling for the security team to maintain their distance. "The supply routes? The coordinates?" Volkov's smile turned cold. "The hegemony pays well for good intelligence. And they appreciate operatives who can work without leaving energy signatures." She tilted her head toward her right boot. "Amazing what people will tell you when they think you're harmless. Just a quiet little ensign with a family antique." Chen drew his plasma sidearm, its charge indicator glowing blue. "It's over, Kira." She laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Is it? How many other harmless officers do you think are carrying primitive relics? How many of us have you been calling deadweight while we've been cutting the heart out of your precious fleet?" The knife appeared in her hand so fast Chen almost missed the movement. Not from her boot, from a hidden sheath along her forearm. The blade caught the shuttle bay's harsh lighting, and for an instant, Chen saw the intricate engravings weren't decorative at all. They were tactical markings, cut patterns designed to cause maximum damage to flesh and bone. "Steel is invisible," Volkov whispered, and lunged forward. The plasma bolt caught her center mass, but she was already falling. The ancient knife clattered across the deck plating, its metal surface unmarked by 3 centuries of technological evolution. As the medical team rushed in, Chen stared down at the weapon that had killed his commanding officer. In a universe of energy shields and quantum processors, sometimes the old ways were indeed the most effective. The most invisible. The most deadly. He made a mental note to review every service record in the fleet. To look for other officers carrying family heirlooms. To remember that evolution didn't always move forward.